room. This is the play that just occurred.
That's like she tries to slide over right there, and Hartley just kind of falls and makes collision with that lower leg. You see her immediately grab it. And she went down hard and was clearly in a lot of pain.
Sophie Cunningham went down hard after a brutal knee collision, and fans, including her own family, instantly blasted the officials for not protecting players. For them, it felt like another chapter in a troubling trend. First came the dangerous groin shot that sidelined Caitlin Clark, then J.C. Sheldon's infamous eye poke, and Marina Mabry's reckless foul. Every time the Fever face the Sun, it seems like someone ends up hurt, and frustration has reached its peak. But instead of folding, Indiana pushed back. With Kelsey Mitchell dropping a career-best 38 points, Odyssey Sims contributing big off a hardship contract, and Lexie Hull drilling a clutch three, the Fever pulled off a stunning 99-93 overtime comeback no one expected. The real question now is how this team managed to flip the game after such a disastrous first half. If you're standing with Sophie and the Fever, drop a speedy recovery wish for her in the comments. Let's go.
Shot clock down to 6 for the Fever. Turner, up fade. Turner kicks it. Hull three-pointer. Bottom!
Indiana,
7 on the shot clock, 25 seconds in regulation.
they gotta get to the rim.
Charles has to hoist and connects. Wow. The Indiana Fever prove their resiliency.
Fever dub! Bow, bow, bow! Dub in the chat. Yeah. And the win goal!
For Indiana, the issues began well before the opening tip. The Fever entered this matchup without all three of their natural point guards. Caitlin Clark remained sidelined from the groin injury she suffered in mid-July. Sydney Colson was out with a torn ACL, and Ari McDonald was still recovering from a broken foot. That left the team without a true floor leader, forcing coach Stephanie White to completely redesign her offensive approach. While most squads at this stage of the season are fine-tuning sets for the postseason, Indiana had to shrink its playbook and lean on simplified actions that wouldn't overwhelm players suddenly tasked with handling the ball outside of their comfort zones.
After Phoenix, it was a quick turnaround to figure out, how we're going to play without, Ari and Sid. And now we got to figure out how we're going to play without Soph. And we've got to figure out, who can play in certain roles. What are our substitution patterns going to be? What kind of wrinkles can we throw out there? It doesn't get easier. And I think we come back and have Minnesota twice, right? So it's really good mentally, physically, and emotionally for us. And then it gives us practice time, which we're going to need.
The challenge only intensified once the game was underway. Midway through the second quarter, Sophie Cunningham took a hard collision battling under the rim and lasted barely 10 minutes before being forced to exit for good. Her shooting and grit had been key to White's makeshift rotation, and losing her stripped the Fever of not only another player but also vital spacing, a cornerstone of their offense. Suddenly, players unaccustomed to heavy minutes were thrown into expanded roles, while White and her staff were left juggling energy, matchups, and simple survival. By halftime, the rotations were stretched dangerously thin, and Indiana was left scrambling to patch holes as they appeared.
We got Sophie Cunningham writhing around in pain, definitely hurt, and Sophie's one tough cookie. If Sophie's kicking and screaming like this, no Will Farrell. She's in pain. We even have Connecticut Sun players. Look at that. Connecticut Sun players, Connecticut Sun training staff coming up to her as the Fever starts making their way down.
On paper, all signs pointed to a defeat. Yet, instead of crumbling, the Fever leaned into the chaos, using it as an opportunity to prove their toughness. It was pure survival mode, but also a bold statement that being shorthanded didn't mean being powerless. What no one inside the arena knew at that moment was that the toughest blow of the night was still to come. It arrived when Cunningham's brutal collision not only reshaped Indiana's lineup, but also reignited the growing outrage over how the game was being officiated.
Every day in our huddle, that's what we say together. And it's just more than words for us. I think when you see things happening, there's no other way. If you spread apart, the season goes down quicker than anything else. And we talked about with the injuries, people are probably expecting us to just fold, just like you said. And that's not us. We come in the locker room and we're motivated. We continue to be motivated every single time we step on that floor. At halftime, we're motivated, chip away, and that's our mindset. And just continue to uplift people. When one person goes down, we say it all the time, the next woman stands up. And that's really just been our motto and been what we've had to do a lot this season, and that's what we're just going to continue to do.
The defining moment struck midway through the second quarter in one of the most frightening scenes of the season. As Bria Hartley drove to the rim, she lost her balance and crashed directly into Sophie Cunningham's right knee. The impact froze the entire arena. Cunningham instantly grabbed at her knee, screaming in pain as she collapsed to the floor. Unable to put any weight on her leg, she had to be helped off by trainers, with the Fever later confirming she would undergo an MRI to assess the damage. No foul was called on the play, and that decision immediately sparked outrage both inside the arena and across social media.
How does she magically lower her shoulder into Sophie Cunningham's legs? Can somebody please explain that to me? Can somebody please explain those physics? Again, don't want to hear it, because this is a dirty player.
Fans reacted immediately, many rising to their feet, waving at referees and shouting for a stoppage as Cunningham lay in agony beneath the basket. Yet play continued while she was still on the floor, a scene that only deepened the frustration, not just from the crowd, but from her teammates as well. Their starter had to be carried off, and still there was no whistle, no acknowledgement from the officials. After the game, Coach Stephanie White admitted that her first reaction to seeing Cunningham in such obvious pain was blunt and unfiltered.
Do you have an update on Sophie? Yeah.
Let's do more like MRIs or something. Just wanted to.
Yeah, MRI tomorrow.
Sorry, just quickly on something. I mean, what's going through your mind when you see her down like that, and you're jogging over there?
I'm like, holy shit. I mean, especially the way that she fell and, how she was holding herself and how much pain she was in. At the time, it's like crap. And then you go down there and you see her and it's like, okay, just want her to calm down and be able to regroup.
For many fans, this felt like far more than just an accident. Because it happened against the Sun, it seemed like yet another entry in a disturbing pattern. Memories of past collisions lingered heavily over the moment. J.C. Sheldon's eye poke on Caitlin Clark back in June, Marina Mabry's hard foul that leveled Clark, and Sheldon's knee to Clark's groin on July 15th, the injury that has sidelined her for over a month. Fans and commentators had already labeled those plays reckless, questioning why the league hadn't taken stronger disciplinary action. In that context, Cunningham's collapse didn't look like misfortune. To them, it looked like another star left exposed in a troubling trend the league continued to ignore.
Oh, and Cunningham is down. My goodness.
Timeout.
Should be. Scary moment as we went to commercial. Sophie Cunningham hit the floor hard, and she is being helped off the floor, heading back to the locker room.
If emotions were already high, they escalated further when Cunningham's family weighed in. Her sister Lindsay posted directly at the WNBA, writing, "WNBA, maybe you should